All right, let's talk about it. The Class 10 Maths Board Exam. For so many of you, it feels like this huge, scary mountain, right? The pressure's on, and it's built up to be one of the biggest challenges you'll face. But what if I told you it's not really a mountain to be climbed, but more like a code to be cracked? Well, today, we're giving you the key.
So, how exactly are we going to crack this code? Well, that's what this is all about. We're going to hand you the complete blueprint. First, we'll look at the 2 different exam paths you can take. Then, we're going to tear apart the paper pattern, so there are absolutely no surprises on exam day. After that, we'll follow the marks to see where you should focus your energy. We'll look at some real questions, and finally, we'll pull it all together into a smart study plan. Let's get into it.
First things first, the exam's 2 paths. Look, before you can plan your strategy, you've got to know the layout of the land. Understanding the big picture and what your options are, well, that's step 1 to taking control. Your final score isn't just about what happens on that one big exam day. Think of it more like a 100-point game. Yeah, 80 of those points come from the final written paper, but a really important 20 points are earned from your internal assessments. Things like class tests and projects. So don't forget, all that work you're doing right now, it really counts towards that final number.
Now, this is your first big strategic choice. Everyone studies the exact same syllabus, but you sit for one of 2 papers, basic or standard. The basic paper? It's designed to be more straightforward, with half the questions being in the easy category. The standard paper, on the other hand, really ramps up the difficulty, hitting you with more moderate and challenging problems. This choice is a big deal, so really think about your goals and where your confidence is at.
All right, on to Section 2, cracking the paper pattern. So you've picked your path, basic or standard. Now let's break down that 80-mark theory paper itself. Seriously, just knowing what's coming when you flip that paper open, that's a massive confidence boost right there.
The whole paper is split into 5 sections, from A to E. You'll kick things off with Section A, which is 20 quick-fire multiple-choice questions, a great way to get some easy points and build momentum. Then, Sections B and C ease you into problems that need a bit more work. And then you hit Section D, the main event. 4 long answer questions that make up a huge 20 marks. You finish up with Section E, which has 3 case-based problems to test how you apply your skills to real-world situations.
So just think of the exam like a journey. You start fast with those multiple-choice questions, then you settle into a rhythm with the shorter answers, then you gear up for the biggest challenges, and you end by analyzing some interesting scenarios. Each part of the journey tests something a little different, from your speed and accuracy to your deep understanding of the concepts. Okay, Section 3, following the marks. So we know the structure of the paper, but how do we study smart? It's simple, really. We follow the marks. Let's figure out which topics are going to give you the most bang for your buck. And this is where your strategy gets really serious. Not all units are created equal, not even close. Just look at this. Algebra is the undisputed champion, worth a massive 20 marks. That's a full quarter of your entire theory paper. Geometry and trigonometry are right behind it. So, your number 1 mission? You have to get comfortable with these big 3.
And hey, here's a little pro tip, coming from expert analysis of the standard paper. If you're aiming for those top scores, be ready for some tough questions from these specific chapters: circles, arithmetic progressions, quadratic equations, and even probability and statistics. Listen up, because this is gold for your revision.
But wait, we can drill down even deeper. Let's zoom right into algebra, that 20-mark giant. See that? The marks are spread out pretty specifically. Linear equations is where you'll most likely find a high-value 5-mark question. And arithmetic progressions, that often shows up as one of those case-based problems. This kind of detail is a total game changer because it lets you practice not just what to study, but how they're going to ask it.
Okay, we've thrown around a lot of theory and marks and sections, but what does a 1-mark question actually feel like compared to a 5-mark beast? Let's make this real. So yeah, what is the real difference? I mean, besides the obvious points, it really all comes down to one thing: conceptual depth. How many ideas are they testing at once?
A 1-mark question is like a sniper shot. It tests one single core concept. So you get this. If a pole's height and its shadow are equal, you think, okay, opposite and adjacent sides are the same. That means tan theta is 1, so the angle has to be 45 degrees. Boom, done. Simple, direct, one idea tested.
And then you have this, a totally different beast. A 5-mark question is a mini project.
For this one, you have to set up 2 different triangles, use 2 different trig ratios, tan 45 and tan 60. Then you have to create 2 different equations, and then you have to solve them together to find the final height. It's a whole journey that weaves together a bunch of different ideas.
Okay, so we've cracked the code. We've seen all the individual pieces of the puzzle. Now let's put it all together. Let's build a smart, actionable study plan that you can start using like right now.
So here it is, your blueprint for success. Number 1, go after the heavy hitters first. That means algebra and geometry. Number 2, practice questions in the exact format you'll see them in the exam. Don't just solve problems, solve MCQs, solve case studies. 3, your official NCERT textbook is your Bible. Almost everything is going to come from there. 4, use everything we've talked about here to revise smarter, not just harder. And finally, number 5, don't ignore the smaller chapters. They often have the easiest marks on the entire paper.
We've laid it all out for you. The structure, the strategy, the types of questions, the whole shebang. So look, this exam, it isn't some big, scary unknown anymore. This blueprint is your map. And the only question left is, are you ready to start navigating? You've got this.